amount to about 17% because of fighting each other and killing each other in the Great Wars. So what the Pope said in 1453 already, 1453, 1454, guys, we're not going to make it. We are going to die. We're going to become extinct by fighting each other, by diseases, by sicknesses, by pollution, and by the depletion of resources. So we need to spread out. And you need to go anywhere where there are non-whites. You need to go anywhere where there are non-Christians, and then you need to settle there so that we can spread our nation out. Hence, they began to move from the European continent. The migration that we're arguing about in Africa right now was caused by this great migration from Europe, where they had to go and find new lands, and they had to settle those new lands. And what I always say to South Africans is this. You're told that Jan van Riebeeck is the first person to come and settle in 1652. No, it's not true. It was actually the Portuguese in 1485. Bartholomew Diaz landed in Cape Town. He tried to discover Cape Town in line with this decree that was given by the Pope, and the Khoisan fought him. They fought him on 3 occasions. The first occasion was Bartholomew Diaz, the second occasion was Vasco da Gama, and the last time...
Vasco was also Portuguese.
Vasco was also Portuguese. And the last time was in 1509 when they defeated de Almeida, another Portuguese coming from conquering India. They came back and they said, let's finish what Bartholomew failed to finish. Got there, the Khoisan remembered these guys. And part of the European law was that when you discover a piece of land, you put a cross, which was called a padrao. And once you've established your padrao, you need to then make sure that you begin to build European settlements in the area. They tried to put a padrao when they landed there with de Almeida, who was a military man coming from conquering India. And they had a fight with the Khoisan. De Almeida was killed in that war, together with a number of other men. They left and never tried to settle South Africa again because they got defeated.
Let's shout out to the Khoisan, by the way.
Shout out to the Khoisan, but this is where it gets interesting. So the Khoisan defeat the Portuguese, 1509. Then by 1590, we begin to have the next writings on white Europeans coming again to Cape Town. This time it was the VOC, which is the Dutch East India Company, but it was in cahoots with the East India Company of England. They landed in 1592, and they began to trade with the Khoisan. What we hear is that between this period, 1592 and 1652, 2,200 ships landed at Cape Town, and they were trading and refilling at Cape Town. We understand that the Dutch, the English, and others had begun to leave their people in the colony of Cape Town, where they were buying and trading with the Khoisan, the Xhosas, and some Zulu people who had migrated to that area. They were trading. They left ambassadors. They left seeds. They left fruits so that they could come and refill. They were taking cows. They were taking sheep. They were taking goats from this area and using that to victual their ship or to supply their ships.
I guess it's shout out to the guys who came with a different